Two easy wins for the Boston Celtics this weekend. I'll tell you how Paul Pierce is helping Jaylen Brown get through his knee issues right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beantown, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back, if I say it, it's stamped. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis, recap the madness. Every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Clutch like Drew to KP, tap in daily. Primetime Devin D. White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I got you covered every Monday through Friday with a free podcast that drops directly to your favorite podcasting app, whichever one it is. We're on all of them. If you are subscribed, so go ahead and do that. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Get notified when I drop a new video, drop a new show. Get into the comment section there. Join all the everydayers, people who are with me Monday through Friday. You know I love everybody who is here with me as an everydayer. And in that comment section, it's the best place to be a part of this community. With me, I'm John Karalis. I have been covering the Boston Celtics for about 20 years now, doing it as a beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I've written a couple of books about the Celtics. I'm there giving you inside information, unlike anybody else in Celtics podcasting. So I feel like I got a pretty good pulse on this team. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers, you get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. 2 games this weekend. I didn't bonus podcast after the Celtics beat the Phoenix Suns. I feel like that was a good decision. This is a nice, I don't think we had half an hour worth of stuff to talk about, especially after the Wizards game, which the Celtics won by 30, yes, 34. My math is good. They beat the Wizards by 34. They beat the Phoenix Suns by 20. So the Wizards started AJ Johnson, Justin Champagnie, Alex Sarr, Jordan Poole, and Bub Carrington. That was they had Marcus Smart available. Well, not available. He was healthy, but he didn't play. They had a bunch of guys in the injury report, ultimately 8 healthy guys for the Wizards. The Celtics had everybody except for Jayson Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis. It didn't matter. They hopped all over the Phoenix Suns. They hopped all over both teams, actually. And the Phoenix game was a little bit more back and forth. The Wizards game was just utter domination from the beginning. Later on, I want to talk about Marcus Smart and how he deserves better. He spoke to the media after the Wizards game. I'll talk about that in the third segment. We'll get into Sam Hauser and how he's doing all these other little things, his rebounding. That's coming up later with more individual performances in the second segment. I think the biggest story to come out of these 2 games is Jaylen Brown and his adjusting, how he's working through the knee issues. He played a lot more against Phoenix. Against Washington, it was a very low-key 21 and a half minutes. They played him basically the bare minimum. He got 9 shots, 15 points, 5 assists, but he's still figuring out how to score 15 points in just 21 minutes. That, I think, plays into Jaylen's figuring it out. Against the Suns, 21 points, 10 of 16 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, 8 of 9 from the line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. A really good game. And even though I didn't like how he looked across the board, I feel like there were some possessions where he was a little gimpy. And you didn't see that as much against Washington. I do think he dialed it back a lot against Washington. I don't think he felt like he needed to be super aggressive. And you could see some more standing around. He was not going to go all out against Washington. He picked his spots, and that was fine. That goes to my feeling about if you're going for all NBA, if you're hoping to get all NBA, you got to get some kind of production out there. And I was talking about talking about him with the guys on the press row, where it's like in the first half against Washington, he only put up 3 shots, 5 points, 5 assists, all in the first half. We're saying, like, if you're gonna hope for an all NBA spot, if you're hoping to cash in on, Durant's not playing and he's gonna miss the cutoff, and so many guys miss the 65 game cutoff that you're in line for a second or a third team all NBA. But you also have to perform. You have to finish the season strong. So the 5 first half points, it's like you got to do something. And so in the third quarter, he comes out a little bit more aggressive, puts up 10 points in 7 minutes, and then he sat down and he didn't play the rest of the game, which it looks like, hey, they only played him 21 minutes, and that's literally the bare minimum. And that's how much you have to play to have the game count for the 65 game thing. But also, after the 21 and a half minutes, the Celtics were up by like 30 already. So he didn't need to go back into the game. So it was like, did he come out because that he'd qualified and that was all he needed, or did he come out because it was garbage time? Maybe a little column A, maybe a little column B. So Jaylen, I asked him if he was watching film on anybody. How is he coming up with these adjustments? How is he figuring out how to play slower? And he said he was watching Paul Pierce. And it's funny that Paul Pierce was at the game on Friday night against Phoenix. And Pierce shows you how to play a little bit slower. Pierce kind of always had a little bit of an old man game. And watching Paul sneakily get to anywhere he wanted to go on the floor, I think Jaylen can learn some things from Pierce. It's not all about athleticism at all times. And it's funny, I think this injury is in a weird way going to help Jaylen long term, like aging out in his early 30s. Now he's 28, so he's got a little ways to go, but he's already learning how to play with less athleticism. This stretch with the knee going into the playoffs, which, by the way, he said there's no guarantee that rest is going to make this feel better. There's no guarantee that sitting out will make it better. They have a plan that they're going to try to make it feel better, and he wants to be at his best come playoff time. But for now, he's got to live without that burst, without that typical Jaylen Brown attack. Figuring it out now and figuring it out in this playoff run is something that he can lean on when 31, 32, 33 comes around and the athleticism isn't quite there. If there's one thing I know about basketball firsthand, is that the athleticism doesn't last forever. And it's jarring. It's shocking sometimes. You're like, wait a second. I used to be able to do this, and I can't do that anymore. Huh. Okay. Didn't expect that to happen. And it will happen. It happens to everybody. Maybe some guys, it takes a little bit longer. Maybe they're able to hold it off for, various reasons. But Jaylen now figuring out how to play a less athletic style of basketball, I think could help him in the long run. Because if all you're doing is leaning on your athleticism, that goes away and your game kind of craters. So leaning on Paul Pierce, watching that Paul Pierce film is very, I think it's a great idea. Get to your spots. You don't have to outrun everybody. You don't have to out athletic everybody. You can get to your spots. You can play these games. You can score in certain ways and then turn up the athleticism when you need to. I think that's going to be the plan for Jaylen. And I suggested this like last week, where there was a world where I've been sitting there saying, just rest him. And I suggested last week, there is the possibility that if this doesn't get any better, and it won't get any better, that these 2 weeks of figuring out how to play with it can be valuable. And Jaylen basically said that's what's happening, that these couple of weeks are a little bit of trial and error. How do you play slow? What's there? And one thing that I noticed is that he's upping the fouls that he's drawing. I think he's setting guys up, and he's starting to learn how to draw fouls and get to the line and do that. It might just be a coincidence, but the last 2 games, he really turned it up. 4 free throw attempts, not a ton, but in the limited time that he played against Washington, that's something. He had 9 free throw attempts against the Phoenix Suns. So I think drawing fouls, laying the ball up instead of dunking on people, leaning into a little bit more fadeaway, some jumpers sometimes, where maybe that decision of put your head down and drive and try to explode over people versus set somebody up and just take that jumper. Every once in a while, early in the game especially, you settle for the jumpers. And I say settle, but like if you're trying to manage that knee, that's what you do. So watching Jaylen throughout the rest of this regular season, how does he prepare? How does he get through it? I think this weekend has shown us a little bit of a roadmap for Jaylen playing a little bit more under control. He said it. Sometimes that's a good thing. I agree that Jaylen learning to play a little bit more under control, a little bit more deliberate, is probably a good thing for him. This could actually end up being beneficial for him. The shooting for the Celtics has been off the charts. It was off the charts against Washington. They're hitting a bunch of threes. They're breaking records. I'll talk about the records that they broke when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. We've all sat there and looked at our bank accounts and said, wait a second. I remember a few more numbers in there. Where did all that money go? I know for me, I like to eat out, take my wife out for a nice dinner. We do that a few times and you say, oh, okay, everything's more expensive now. I need to be more in control of my money. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO. It gives you full visibility and control over your finances. It's not just budgeting. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, your investments, your spending. It's all in one place, so you can stop managing your money and start building wealth. You can realize exactly how much you're spending on certain things. Are you shopping online? Are you playing video games and buying in-game purchases? Do you realize how much you're spending? That's part of what Monarch Money can do. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can check your finances, track your spending, all of that stuff, plan long-term goals. If you have a partner, you can get together, track your shared personal accounts. You can set goals and stay on the same page. Takes out the stress. That's helpful. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Would love for you to go sign up for our new newsletter. It's at lockedondaily.com. Go there, sign up by clicking on the Locked On Celtics logo. When you enter your email, I will send you an email every Monday through Friday with Celtics and NBA coverage, fantasy coverage too, links to stuff, Celtics content around the internet. It's all there, lockedondaily.com. It's a great way to keep up with the show. If you ever miss an episode, you can kind of read the newsletter, and that gives you a gist of what I was talking about. So go do that. The Celtics shooting, I think, is the other big thing to take away from the weekend. They broke the team record for most three-pointers in a season, so congratulations to them. They they're just building on that. I mean, we knew that they were going to break that record at some point. I forget the overall number, but it's a lot. Also, in the game against Washington, Sam Hauser hit a three to set the NBA record as a league total three-pointers. So the Celtics had a hand in the league making more three-pointers than usual. And then Peyton Pritchard, on top of everything, also passed Isaiah Thomas to jump into second place now behind Derek White. So two Celtics have beaten the record that was set by Isaiah Thomas for most threes in a season. Jayson Tatum is now 2 away from tying and 3 away from also breaking that record. So you'll have 3 Celtics eventually with more three-pointers in a single season than Isaiah Thomas had, which is wild because that was a lot. And to have 3 guys do it, it's interesting because this notion that the Celtics just come down and fire up threes. You hear it all the time that they just come down and they chuck threes. And it's no matter what I or other people say, that perception is still out there. But you hear a guy like Grayson Allen talking about defending the Celtics and specifically saying they don't just come down and chuck threes. They work the ball. They push the ball. They attack and they kick and they spray and take good shots. Against the Washington Wizards, the Celtics, 24 of 52. Against the Phoenix Suns, the Celtics were 14 of 39. So a very subdued performance volume-wise. 39, only 39, wow. But 52 goes up against Washington. And you hear Joe Mazzulla talk after games about the three-point shooting, and he always gets a little rankled by the question because he keeps saying, like, after the Celtics set the single season record, the question, like, what does that mean to you? And his answer, paraphrasing the answer, was, it means that we were fighting for the good shots, whether they're twos or threes. And he always does that. He always wants to say we're fighting for the best shots. And he does that because this notion that the Celtics just come down and fire threes is, first of all, wrong. Second of all, it takes away from what the Celtics are actually doing. The hard work that actually goes into the Celtics firing three-pointers. 52 three-pointers went up, right? If they just come down and chuck threes, then how do you get 33 assists on 48 shots? It's not that they just come down and pull up. What they do is come down and drive and kick and swing and get good shots. It's not one pass and 3. It's multiple passes and 3. It's draw 2 defenders, create an advantage, and take the open shot. These guys are getting open to wide open shots all the time. And the shooting percentage is indicative of that on a game like this game against Washington, whose defense is terrible. The Wizards are absolutely garbage. But the assists, 5 assists for Jaylen Brown, 4 for Horford, 3. Everybody has like 2 or 3. 3 for Kornet, 4 for White, 5 for Holiday, 7 for Pritchard, 2 for Shireman, 2 for Craig. These guys are all moving the ball, whipping it around. It's not just one guy. It's not just a point guard. It's not Derek White or Drew Holiday just coming down, one pass, go. It's not Jaylen Brown coming down as the primary ball handler. It's not just Jayson Tatum when he plays to come down and just one pass and shoot. It's multiple passes. They work hard. And are they taking a ton of threes? Absolutely. But their offense is so much more than just pulling up from 3 at whenever they can. The directive is simple. Make the right play, make the right read. You're still trying to get to the rim. And you hear people talk. I just listened to Steve Nash and LeBron James talking about defensively, the number one thing you want to take away still to this day is the rim. If you're giving up everything at the rim, you're going to get crushed. You're going to lose. You still want to give up three-pointers. You just want to be more selective in who gets the three-pointers, and you want to make sure that the right guys are taking them. The Celtics' strength is they have a bunch of right guys for them taking them. You don't see guys who can't hit threes taking threes for Boston. Jaylen, Al, Derek, Drew, Sam, Peyton, Shireman, all of those guys hit three-pointers against Washington. Porzingis, Tatum. The only guy, like, at some point, they might just say, either Tatum or Brown. Those are the two guys that maybe miss threes, high volume shooters who aren't hitting threes at a high enough rate. But like Derek White, for example, he's been great. He was great against Phoenix, where he was 4 of 8. Against Washington, 5 of 9. He is on fire. So that white hot bullet point that I have over here on my YouTube graphic, it's Derek White that's hot, and the Celtics white hot from 3 in the game against Washington. I mean, Washington had no chance. The Celtics hit twice as many three-pointers, 12 more three-pointers. That's a big difference in a game where it was, a 34-point win. The Celtics buried them under a barrage of three-pointers. The other thing the Celtics did in this game against Washington was offensive rebounds. 25 offensive rebounds, which is a ton. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Sam Hauser, Luke Kornet, the guys that are getting on the boards and chomping glass. We'll talk about the little things that the Celtics are doing when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's number one sports book, and with the playoffs, the NBA playoffs almost here, FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get into the action. Right now, if you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. FanDuel makes it very easy, so whether you're picking your favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has a lot of ways for you to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Make sure that you're using the tools that FanDuel has available to set your limits, set your budget. Make sure that you are gambling responsibly. I want you to have some fun over at FanDuel, but I don't want you to go overboard. So set your limits, set your budget, and bet what you can afford to lose. Whatever that is, $5, $50, that's your limit. Please do that. Have some fun. Don't miss out. Head over to FanDuel.com right now. Claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Would love it if you go check out the Locked On NBA podcast, as I just click random buttons on my YouTube page. Locked On NBA has got Locked On NBA Game Night and Locked On NBA. So 2 feeds. One is a 7-day-a-week podcast covering all the games at night. The other is more of a debate show podcast in the middle of the day. 2 shows covering the whole league. Check them out wherever you got the Locked On Celtics podcast. 25 offensive rebounds for the Celtics resulted in a 30-point advantage in second chance points against Washington. Again, Washington, I don't even want to get into too many specifics of this game because it doesn't matter. I'll get to Marcus Smart in a minute. They're just not trying. They want to lose. Utah's losing. Charlotte's losing. All these other teams are losing. And Washington's sitting there like, well, we can't win any of these. Any one of these wins could jeopardize our standing here in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. We all saw Cooper Flag. I know that the Duke Blue Devils kind of choked away in their Final Four game against Houston. But Cooper Flag's been awesome and shows exactly why everybody's going nuts for him. I get it. So Washington, that game was barely a game. The Celtics went out there and just destroyed them. And the 25 offensive rebounds was huge. Luke Kornet had 9 of them, 14 rebounds overall, 13 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists for Luke Kornet, who against Phoenix had another 4 offensive rebounds. 12 points, 4 rebounds, all, like I said, all 4 offensive. Luke's been great. It's an interesting, I might do a podcast this week about Luke's value, because a lot of people have been saying, I wonder what he's going to get paid, this offseason, as if he's going to go off and get paid like the full mid-level exception. And I don't know that he's going to get that much money. Like, he's going to get more than the minimum. He's worth more than the minimum. He's also 29. He'll be 30 when the season starts next year. And he's having a great month, 2 months. So far in April, he's averaging over 3 games, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 6.3 rebounds are offensive this month. But this is 3 games of really great production. Last month, he averaged 6 rebounds, basically almost evenly split between offensive and defensive. 7 points. He's doing all the little things. He's doing everything great. He's getting a lot of touches. He's getting a lot, and he's cashing in. He's shooting 72% in the 3 games in April. But also, like, this isn't who he's been all season. And my argument is, Luke is doing a great job. He's like perfect for what the Celtics need him to be. If you expand what he's averaging 20 something minutes a game, is he going to play 35? If you give Luke Kornet 35 minutes, I don't know. I really don't know what his value becomes. If you take him away from Jaylen and Jayson and all of these other guys, I don't know what his value becomes. This is such a perfect situation for him. So I think part of that is why he came back. And I think part of it is why the Celtics have an opportunity to continue getting him on a bargain. I don't know what his actual number is going to be, but I think if you look at like Sam Hauser is getting $10 million, $10 to $11 million starting next year to do what he does. Is Luke giving you that much production? Is he worth 10 million? Maybe a little less. Maybe he's worth 7 or 8. The Celtics do have his bird rights, and it's going to be interesting. I think he's been absolutely great. He's been perfect for what the Celtics need him to be. He and Hauser have been stars in their roles, which is exactly what you want. His value and what he does this offseason, there's going to be plenty of time to discuss that. He's certainly showing his value. And I'm sure there are teams that will offer him a decent amount of money. And you might get a team that is trying to get up over the salary floor. Some team, like, I don't know, pick a team at the bottom, maybe Washington. Let's just say Washington. And they might say, hey, look, man, we'll give you $15 million a year. We'll give you $15 million for this coming season, just to pay somebody some money, and you can come in and do your thing, be good, but not too good, and not take too much away. But if they get Cooper Flag, you can say, hey, let's pay this one guy a little bit of money to run some pick and rolls. He's experienced pick and rolls with a big wing from Duke. You can do that, sure. It's hard to say, but Luke has been playing great, and he's upping his value for sure. Against Washington, he had some great plays. The play where he was going out of bounds, he saved it off a Washington player, and he gave the big, pointing it in the Celtics direction, the big demonstrative, wah. That was fun. He's out there barking. Sam Hauser said, we want everybody to bark with Luke Kornet. So they put that out there. He wants everybody to bark with Luke Kornet. So if you are listening to this and you're going to Celtics games in the future, whether you're in New York, whether you're in Orlando, whether you're coming to see the Charlotte back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but baseball series to end the season. If Luke's out there doing something and he gets up and starts barking, the whole arena better start barking. That's Sam Hauser has requested it. So Celtics fans, pretty knowledgeable group of people. They pay attention. So I say you pay attention. So bark with Luke Kornet. He was great. Sam's been great. Sam doing the little things, his rebounding, more rebounding. The Celtics have been really good at it. He's been really good at it the past couple of games. He had 8 against the Wizards. That's a season high. We talked about that a little bit after the game. And, Sam is another guy. Like, he's known for his shooting, but he's doing all these other little things. He, getting into, attacking the closeouts, getting into the mid-range, dropping a pass off here or there, making the right play. He's been really good at that this year. And doing those little things has been really important for the Celtics. And if Hauser can do that, then all these other guys, Tatum, Brown, all these other guys can be more effective, because there's attention being paid to Sam that would normally go to these other guys. So great performance from him. Other quick notes: Jayson Tatum against Phoenix, just a casual 23, 8 and 8. That's his baseline. He can go out there and just kind of mess around basically and still give you 23, 8 and 8. So a really nice performance there. Kristaps Porzingis with the bloody face was an incredible moment. Gets elbowed. I forget who it was that elbowed him from Phoenix. It was Cody Martin, maybe? Cody Martin caught him with the elbow going up for a dunk. Porzingis goes down. He stays down for a second. Everybody's like, uh-oh. And then he gets up, bloody face. He's got a cut on the bridge of his nose. Not a big deal. He missed the game against Washington. They said it was an illness. I think it was just an excuse. So Jayson and Porzingis sat. Not a big deal. That I think it's just giving them some rest. But Porzingis getting up off the floor, bloodied against Phoenix, coming in doing that like tough guy pose, and then like he just like loves this moment, loves this spotlight. He's playing it up, walking into the tunnel, I should say. Get this guy some WWE music. Give him like the Stone Cold Steve Austin music. Give him he's just out there just loving life and even just bleeding and laughing and playing it up. So that was a fun moment for him. Okay, no Marcus Smart in this game against Washington. Like I said, he did talk to the media afterwards. It was nice. It was nothing like he did have an interaction with a fan that, the fan got kicked out. He didn't really say much. He said the guy crossed the line, whatever that means. The guy got kicked out. So that seemed to be a little tense, but not a big deal. Marcus was healthy enough to play. He just didn't. And he may not play for the rest of the season, considering what Washington's trying to do. They're doing what they're doing, right? And Marcus is just, as he said after the game, nothing that he can control, right? They're playing their rookies, they're playing their young guys, and it is what it is. And the season's almost over. Make your plans, make your vacation plans for April and May. Take the whole month of May. Grab the wife, grab the kid, go someplace nice and enjoy yourself, Marcus. But he deserves better than this. And I don't know what he's going to have coming up. He makes $21.5 million next season. And I feel like somebody would want him. The Memphis thing was weird. He's been hurt. That hasn't helped anything. But the folks in Washington, they love him. They love Marcus. He's been great with guys like Bub Carrington, just taking him aside and teaching him, giving him, advice and working with him in film sessions and stuff like that. Like Marcus has enjoyed that part of this season for sure. and they've enjoyed having him there for it. But also he wants to play. He's 31, and he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. The injuries are piling up. He plays a very rough style for his body, and at some point, that's going to all go away. He's going to try to maximize his income. You know, he's making $21.5 million, like I said, next year. He's not going to make anywhere near that afterwards, but I think next season's an important season for him. If he goes somewhere that can promise him some time that he can be effective, wherever that is, you know, as long as it's not Philadelphia or something like that, or the Lakers, I think that's going to be, you know, fine for him. I just want him to go to a place where he's appreciated, where he can get the time, maybe earn another contract, even if it's a not even mid-level contract, something where he can spend a couple more years in the league and help somebody win. So I just think it's a shame. It's a shame that a guy who was so passionate, and I know me talking about Marcus, people, I know the reactions. He's a polarizing guy, but you know what? He's a good dude who wanted to win. And maybe some moments got away from him, but he wanted to win, and he's as team first as it gets, I think. So hopefully he lands somewhere. It was good to see him. It was good to talk to him for a few minutes. And I hope next season is a good one for him, because that could be a make or break one for him in his future in the league. If he has a good season next year, then maybe he has a couple more, a 2-year contract or 3-year contract after that. And that'll be great for him. If next year's not great, then I don't know what's next. You know, he might have to deal with minimums after that, which would suck. You know, becoming a minimum player is a tough one in the NBA. But I'm sure Marcus will be fine. And he's happy. He's got the kid, which is a big deal for him. That's very sweet. So, all right. So those are the 2 games. Let's we'll pick this up tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the Luke Kornet episode tomorrow. The Celtics play a Tuesday and Wednesday back-to-back, New York and Orlando. Post-game podcast after that. Plenty of podcasts, 5 days a week. It's all free. Playoffs come around. It'll be a ton more podcasting, bonus podcasts like crazy. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're subscribed. If you're not, please do subscribe. Get into that YouTube page. Get into the comment section. And I would love it if you shared your opinions there and shared the podcast with your friends, family, and everybody. Tell them they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here in the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.